I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures. So I'm going to be talking about the G.I. Joe panel of the San Diego Comic-Con 2026, and there's a lot of good stuff to get into, and there's some stuff who is pretty bad, and Hasbro needs to start course correcting because I have a huge issue with it. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So let's start by the product reveal. So of course, today went up for pre-order. The files out, of course, in the Night Force, and the big surprise came that we are getting some more range Vipers. So of course, we're going to be starting by some of the pictures that they have given us. Of course, these have currently sold out on Hasbro Pulse USA, and I got a message that Walmart still had some Sideshow out still available, so maybe you want to go and check those out if they can still get them. So here we have some better pictures of it. So it looks like that now they are not fighting the Energon universe with the energy guys, the mold rats. They seem to have moved on and going to fight the dire technology with the leader, of course, Crystal Ball. So it looks like that this guy can somehow absorb the energy from those ghost projections and use it to fire it back or to create shields, as you can see over here. And yeah, well, Night Force is my favorite part of G.I. Joe repaint, so yeah, I don't mind it. I think that the little pink stuff around it is a bit of a shame, but for the rest, I do like the idea. I think the modern version and the upgrade of this character into the classified line works really well for me. I'm accepting some of these let's say futuristic weapons, but again, you can just remove them. You can remove the backpack, you can just keep him with his weird blaster, you can just replace everything that he has. But again, I do like that he has a primary weapon, secondary weapon, and a knife does make sense for any kind of special force unit. So continuing with the back of the package, sadly nothing here to spoil, so let's continue. So here we have some more pictures of him in action. So I guess this must be a diffuser of over pumped energy, I guess, to give it this kind of flow. But again, it's really a bit of a shame. So here we have different angles of him. He does not seem to have a tag over there, but he does have the tag that he had when he came out back in the day in the Real American Hero line. But again, I think there's a lot of inconsistency with Hasbro doing certain things with their figures. So why does he not have the Night Force logo on his other arm? I can understand that you're going to do a callback to the one that he had over there. That does make sense, but why not give him the Night Force logo on him? So anyway, let's get back into this, who was a big surprise, and some people managed to get it, some people didn't. Of course, a lot of people are pissed off because they didn't manage to get it, and maybe this is going to be something like the previous one. He's going to come back, so let's get fingers crossed for anybody who missed him. But as you can see, they decided to upgrade the packaging on this one, so that does seem a bit weird, and this is giving me questions. Are they going to redo some of the other figures who were in this kind of let's be ecologic and try to save plastic period of time? So are we going to get again all of these? I'm going to be making a video explaining also the reason I'm going to be downing down my collection and stopping the mint in box figures, but that would be for another video. But as you can see, it is pretty nice. If you missed the first one, now you can be able to get him, and hopefully you're not going to pay sky high prices. Hopefully this guy's going to pop up back again on Hasbro Pulse US, so that my American collector friends can be able to purchase it, and also the people from Canada. So continuing with some more figures that are going to be released maybe at the time I'm releasing this video, because it's pretty late due to the fact that it's a 9-hour difference. So between I watch it, edit the video, it could be already up for pre-order. It's going up at 5 p.m. ET. So that puts it at around 11 o'clock currently in Europe. But again, this is a general release, so you don't need to kind of rush to go and pick it up. But again, Hasbro doing whatever and not understanding and going into the principle of their own figures. So, by the looks of it over here, I do have, did see some other pictures, but I don't like picking up pictures from other people, but I prefer to use the ones that Hasbro gives us. So we have Lara Croft to join G.I. Joe for the 30th anniversary of Tomb Raider, and she is put on a retro card back who has nothing to do because this character never came out. Now, it is good that finally Hasbro has remembered that all retro card figures should come with Fist, but I don't see the Stand, who was also one of the stuff. I mean, Hasbro, you really need to sort out your shit, because this is becoming embarrassing if you cannot even follow your own protocols and guidelines about a product, saying this product comes with this and this, and you're not even capable of doing it because you're going all over the place. And again, this character has nothing to do in the retro line. This figure should have came in the classified line. Again, Hasbro not understanding what they're doing with their brand is nothing new. Let's continue with some summer convention exclusives. So, of course, we already know that we have Shipwreck versus Cadet Demings, who's from one of those crazy cartoon parts. I think it was Welcome to Springfield episode where they taint his head. They don't have the money to give him a proper taint, so he realizes that the gray hair comes off. So again, we know about it. There's been some information about it that there should be some figures popping up on Hasbro Pulse after the Comic-Con, so stay tuned. I will keep you updated as soon as I have info. You can go and check out my Facebook page also. I will have posted over there, but I will also post it in the YouTube page, so you can go and get them up and pick them up. They're already there on Hasbro Pulse, so bookmark those pages so you can access them fast, because these things are going to sell out really fast and are going to end up on eBay for some very expensive money. Then, of course, we have the Fatal Fluffies who are there. Again, a figure that should have never been an exclusive due to the fact that, sorry to say, but this is a bit of an army builder, and I think it's a bit of a shame that they decided to go with that road, but hopefully I think you're limited to 3. So if you're a collector, you want to keep 1 in mint in box, and then you have 2 to take out. It does feel a little bit light. So let's go on to some pre-orders of the retro figures that have been announced, and I'm going to go in on per date, and I'm going to be giving you my thoughts about the figure. There's one of these 3 figures who is not going to be here, and he's going to come towards the end of the video. So of course, as you can see, pre-order is Thursday, July 28th at 1 p.m. That's of course that's 7 p.m. Europe time. So of course, that's something that is important to take into consideration. Of course, these are going to be general releases, so I will not worry about not getting it. But of course, I'm going to start by Flash, because he is the most interesting character. He's the last one that we needed to complete the 13 original G.I. Joes from back in the day, so pretty happy that he's there. I do have a little part of me who's saying, well, this little holster with the pistol should have nothing to do there, but that would be me a bit nitpicking. If you were going retro, then go retro and do the retro figure properly. Then afterwards we have this one in the retro line. Again, Hasbro, this has nothing to do in the retro line. This figure never came out in the original line of figures. And OBMac was saying, oh yeah, we launched it back in the day. And you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah, we did a double pack in the classified line. So I think you're mixing up everything. So I don't know, does retro mean figures that came out in 2021, 2022 are now, if you're going to re-edit them, are they going in the retro line? Because don't really call them retro. So of course, not my biggest part I'm interested in. Anyway, Lieutenant Falcon will be coming later on. because there's a lot of problems with that guy. Now, moving on to the digital render, of course, this one is also going to go up on the pre-order. So we have the Last Man Marauders coming in, and this is going to be a 2-pack. And of course, as you can see, we are going to get basically what we got in the original packet of Mutt, with all the extra hands, and then we are going to get Footloose with exactly the same gear. I'm kind of curious to see how much this one is going to go for, because remember the other ones were around $60 and the last ones who came out were $62, so this one comes with an animal. So this is going to be $75, $80. It will be an interesting thing to see, but we will have an answer on the 28th of July also. So it's a Famazon, so I'm wondering if there's going to be only Amazon who's going to be having it, or fan channels, and that's why they're mixing it up. For now, I don't have more information regarding it, but I will keep you updated. So again, same principle, 1 p.m. ET. Of course, you have to be premium members for it, or you should go on Amazon and order it, so you don't need to pay those $50. And of course, if you're in Europe, that's 7 p.m. and of course that's going to be Hasbro Pulse, or it's going to be 8 p.m. because you didn't pick up the 50 euros to become premium member. Now, continuing with some more stuff, and this one I'm looking very forward to it. That's why I thought it has a bit more pictures. So Sergeant Slaughter with the Triple T. The Triple T looks amazing. I must say that I'm really digging the upgrades for it that you like or dislike the canopy. I think it's a nice little add-on, and does make sense that it would be there because you would try to give more protection. But let's be honest, a 50 cal bullet might go through that glass there, even if it's bulletproof, or an RPG would definitely kill Sergeant Slaughter if it's fired at that part or any other part of the vehicle, because this one doesn't look very thick in armor. But again, we're not there to try to make believe that G.I. Joe is it's military inspired, but not the most realistic parts about it. But again, growing up as a kid and having this vehicle in 1986, who is my favorite G.I. Joe year, does make me really happy. So of course they wanted to recreate the iconic look of Sergeant Slaughter arriving because G.I. Joe couldn't fight, and Sergeant Slaughter jumps out of his Triple T and beats up a whole bunch of battle android troopers. Again, the cartoon, so yes, you wanted to have it. Now, I was a bit surprised. Now, I know that this part does kind of clips in and out of the vehicle, but I haven't been mucking around with my Triple T from back in the days, and they kind of did a little upgrade, the possibility to put a figure here, open it, and have some figures behind. This is a really nice add-on. I like all the material, all the electronics who are behind also. That's pretty cool. The Gatling gun also seems to have the possibility to be manhandled with the handles over there, or might fire also on automatic. So yeah, really, really great stuff. Cannot wait to see how this one comes out and have it in hand. So this one is going to be Hasbro Pulse exclusive. Personally, if you've been watching my videos for a while, I've been saying that Hasbro should keep all vehicles exclusive. I know it's not cool because some people will not be able to pick them up for cheaper from Walmart and all of that when they go on clearance. But again, we want the line to continue, and if Hasbro is going to make some money, I guess they learned with the Stinger Cobra Jeep that it was maybe not the best thing, because some people were getting them for $35. And I mean, I got the cheapest price from Entertainment Earth Distribution, and I can tell you I did not pay that price. I paid maybe double, or nearly double that price. So anyway, I digress. Let's get back into this one. Is going up on August 12th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, like always. If you're a premium member, if not, it's 2 p.m. and of course that puts it at 7 p.m. Now you are going to start to understand why, with all the vehicles that they're releasing, plus the HISS tanks coming at the end of the year, why Hasbro didn't come out with, on top of it, with what is it called, the HasLab vehicle, because we have another vehicle who's coming for 2027, and that one is going to please a lot of people. So, continuing with some more figures who are going to go up on pre-order, and at first I didn't understand that this was going to be a 3-pack figure set, And this must be the most stupidest idea of army builders that you can do. Um, I mean, night vipers in snow part, I have no problem. I'm not going to go into the stupidity that none of them have any skis, or none of them have heavy backpacks or any ski shoes to go, or those kind of rackets that you use to walk on the snow. I'm not going to go back there, but it shows you how silly it is. But again, I'm sorry, Saw Viper is not an army builder figure. That you have 2 or 3 of them makes sense, but you're not going to have an army builder. Or if you're going to army build it, give him a machine gun or give him a rifle that is not some kind of heavy machine gun with a chainsaw. So of course they put up some pictures, and of course this figure is a bit interesting because I'm going to switch out the head, and I'm definitely going to put Big Ben because this is exactly what you're getting with Big Ben. And of course you're getting one G.I. Joe trooper in here who is literally an army builder figure. So again, yeah, Hasbro not really thinking. So again, continuing with this, it's another Hasbro Pulse exclusive. I guess maybe later on the line, like they happened with the His Fire team, it might go up for sale on some other places, but I will not count on it. And this one is going up for pre-order on Wednesday, August 26th. And again, Hasbro Pulse exclusive, 1 p.m., 7 for us in Europe. Then, of course, we have another Amazon exclusive. Of course, I was disappointed by this one. I was hoping that it was going to be a Red Shadow armor. And BMAX started explaining that Destro had something to do with it and going into upgrading it because of Darklon taking over this imaginary eastern country. If Destro's going to upgrade them, he's Iron Grenadier. Shouldn't this be an Iron Grenadier suit with gold and everything that makes it look like? Yeah, I think it's a quick grab, and I guess the fact that it's an Amazon exclusive is going to be very interesting. And that one's going up also on July 28th, and I just realized that this one is badly placed in the order of the video, so I'm sorry about it. But yeah, that one should have been moved back way back. Anyway, now let's go into the name reveals. So the first one we got, it's leftover from our friend Lenny, who has decided to create a new dreadnok, and the dreadnok is called Flatline. It's something of crazy from what BMAX said, and the new guy who's on the team, sorry I don't remember his name, I always have problems holding back names after it's this kind of stick, but it seems to be something of totally crazy and going into it. As you can see right to now, there's been a lot of cool stuff. So this is mostly 2027. We're not going to get much more figures on around here because everything here is going to be 2027. So yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what comes out of it, and of course still giving a lot of praise to our friend Lenny. So yeah, that's nice on the behalf of Hasbro. I don't know if they're hoping that he's going to come back, and that's why I thought they're nice with him. Anyway, let's continue with the name reveals. So we have Hardball. So I must say that's a pretty cool figure. I did like him back in the days when he did come out. It's not my favorite pick from that year. I would have liked to see maybe a more Muskrat figure because more military-like, spearhead and Max. And going to my favorite character from that year is Repeater with his Steadicam machine gun. I mean, this figure I did like it because Predator movie was around in those days. They had this multiple grenade launcher. So yeah, and pretty interesting figure to come out. And also another good part, I picked this one up from eBay. It's not from my private collection. You could add him up to the Mad Marauders because he was put in 2018, as you can see, as a convention. So it's a win-win. I think Muskrat also had a version of him being put in the 25th anniversary line, if my memory is wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comment section and let me know. But yeah, it makes sense that you're going to be bringing out a figure that you can nearly remake directly with some extra paint. Then they talked about an army builder who's going to be the Heat Viper. So interesting that they're going over there. That would have not been my first pick for a figure, but yeah, I have no issue with it, and I'm kind of wondering where they're going with this figure also. So more reveals. We have some more Ninja Force. So it looks like Target is really moving away from Tiger Force, and it looks like sadly we won't be getting any extra Tiger Force who were Target exclusive, who's a bit of a shame, even if the camo is not really realistic. I do think that the Classified line has done something that Hasbro missed on the Real American Hero line, because Jinx never was part of the Ninja Force, and for me that is a huge mistake. If you read the comic books, she is literally part of it, and you can see her interact from my memories that she's around, and it makes sense that they would be all interacting. I mean, she's a ninja, why would she not be in the Ninja Force? So they're doing a 2-pack. I'm kind of interested to see what it looks like. I guess Snake Eyes is going to have a bit of a look, and not my favorite look, and he will not have his action slam kung fu not kick but punch. And I'm kind of curious to see what kind of mask that they're going to give him, and also what kind of demon mask is Jinx going to have. Then they continued talking about that they were going to make another shipwreck. So the shipwreck who's going to be, it's not going to be this one from Dollar General Store. I did like this figure a lot. I think it makes him feel more like a Navy SEAL than the one that he is when he's dressed up as a sailor. I believe this figure, again, this is me speculating, but there's a high chance that I'm right about it. This is going to look in the same way that the Rugged Duke looks, and I think they seem to be going into building a team where the guys look more like Special Forces Tier 1 operators, who are what they should all be. So yeah, that's something that you need to take in. And of course, I kept the best for the last. We are getting, finally, our Red October Guards, and we're going to be getting Diana. Another thing that BMAX said was very, very interesting. He did say that we're going to be expanding the line. So I guess somebody's going to be pissed off that I had a discussion with, because it looks like they seem to be spreading out on the international line. So maybe with a bit of chance we might get some Action Force figures coming to the G.I. Joe Classified line, because if you're going to expand, I mean, except the October Guards, and they're going to explain everything. I'm not a fan of the logo here. I think there was something way better to do than that, but let's see what they're going to be bringing up. Anyway, let's jump into the Hall of Fame. So, Hall of Fame is, they're introducing Sergeant Slaughter into it. They kind of have him at the panel. They introduce him to it. And what BMAC explained, he's the third one to enter, who's kind of weird, because I presume that the two other figures that, or the two other characters who have entered the G.I. Joe Hall of Fame would be the Fridge, Matthew Williams Perry, if I'm not mistaken, and of course the Piper, I can't remember his name, Wandy Piper, who was also a wrestler, who was the Iron Grenadier trainer, was also in it, and I cannot understand how the hell that he's the third, because he was the first real character to enter the G.I. Joe world, so always a bit of a surprise. And also having Sergeant Slaughter is going to be a very connective to the next part of the video, because they have announced the 40th anniversary of the G.I. Joe movie for 2027. So they were talking that they're going to be making every figure from the retro wave. That means there should be 3 waves of retro figures. So that means there's going to be 9 figures around the 40th anniversary. And I guess you are seeing exactly where I'm going with this, because this is supposed to be our retro version of Falcon. I don't know if Hasbro's colorblind. I don't know what's going on with them. They said they changed a bit the face print of him, so he looks a bit better than the one that they did in the Classified line. But let's be honest, this is not the retro line version of our friend Falcon. Never in the world is this one. This is exactly the camo pattern that he has in the cartoon. And you don't believe me, this is the one that I quickly took as a picture, because I was planning to do a review, and as you can see, there's no brown it is a kind of a more of a Vietnam era kind of line. Sideshow did a version of him, and it went into a more tiger pattern uniform, who's green and black, and this is exactly what we have. So again, sorry Hasbro, you don't know your history. That is pretty sad, I find. And as you don't believe me, well, here you have it. This is exactly what we're getting as a figure in the retro line, and he should have been one of those retro figures, if we can say, for 2027. Now, he also announced that there was going to be some exclusive figures who are going to be coming back in this line. So we know we are going to have 9 figures. Now, I'm going to speculate a bit around this, and I'm going to be thinking that we're definitely going to get this guy, because he was saying that there were some ones who were exclusive that are now going to come into the line, and the first one who comes to mind is, of course, Chuckle. So that does make sense. Now, I don't know if what they're going to be doing with this guy here. I really didn't found him that much interesting. I don't think that we'll be getting him again, because we got him in the classified line. Are they going to do the other characters over here? Maybe Beachhead, Tunnel Rat. Again, it could be something they could do with the coloring. Again, we have the possibility of 9 figures, but I would really think that it would be really a shame to get a retro-looking Tunnel Rat, and yeah, that would be a bit of a shame. This is going to be extremely hard to make as a retro, because you have to remember he does come with a dog, and the packaging is kind of limited on a retro card, or they will need to change it. Jinx, yeah, maybe, but I would have to be seen. I guess they might try to do another Beachhead, maybe, but not really convinced. Now, I'm going to speculate that one of the characters who is going to be coming out, due to the fact that we got this one, that we got him transformed into a snake, but we never really got the scientist Cobra Commander who went in. And this could be a pretty interesting way of bringing this kind of scientist into from the Cobra Lab world into it, with maybe 2 head sculpts, with the first one where he's starting to transform like this, and have him as a basic before he gets infected by the spores. So this is a character that I definitely see coming in. Another character that I'm seeing coming in, I'm not thinking Pythona would come in, but it could be possible. They could downsize the equipment she has, and then because was also an exclusive, and some people missed out. But I'm more thinking that we might go on to a Serpentor kind of cartoonish version without the air chariot, a bit in the same way that Super 7 did thousands of them. I'm exaggerating, but did many repaints of our supreme leader of Cobra, and I think that there's high chances that he is going to be part of it. So yeah, that's my speculations. Let me know in the comment section. Do you agree with me? What would be your pick for those 9 figures coming? Because this is something that I'm really interested about. And of course you're going to say, but John, you are missing one character. Well, not really. The thing is, I don't know how you're going to be fitting Golobulus onto a retro card. He's definitely not going to come with his floating Brussels sprout stuff here with eyes. That's not going to happen. And the fact that he has this long tail, if you remember back in the days when he came out, he nearly took a huge triple pack of figures, and those are not matching. But again, with Hasbro, we never know. They might try to pull off some kind of retro long card, or God knows what, and please do not do it. But I believe that we will be getting Golobus in some kind of shape in 2027, because there's no way that they're going to pass the opportunity to make this character because of the 40th anniversary of this movie. Now let's move on to the last part of the video, and this is going to be something of amazing and fantastic. So let's have a look at this render reveal, and this is the reason why it's going to be a very expensive year for 2027. Ta-da! Here it is. Finally, the dreadnok Thunder Machine. Now, I'm digging the way they went with it, the fact that they decided to upgrade it, the way they were talking about it. I don't know if they're going into HasLab stuff. They were talking about they were going to talk about it, and they're going to go up for order. So I'm wondering what they're really doing. Is it going to be something in the same way as the His tank, and it's going to be a period of time where you can pre-order it, and if you don't pre-order it, well, it sells out. Then there was another thing who was very funny, that he was kind of dismissing that we should be getting Trasher with this vehicle. So I'm kind of finding this very interesting and really weird, because it is a kind of a unique vehicle, and I don't see uh, army building this one. I mean, the Swamp Skier would have been an army build, because that does make sense, and in the cartoon they have it. But I don't see every dreadnok driving around with a thunder machine, so I do find it a bit strange. And again, this comes into what I was exactly talking back not many years ago, but when I did the video talking about how Hasbro backed themselves in the corner and then quickly pedal out of it by saying, no, that's not what we said. Again, I think the line must be selling and must be doing well. I don't have any internal people who work for Hasbro who are giving it, but if I'm seeing how many vehicles Hasbro is producing for this line, and we didn't get that many vehicles in the Marvel universe. We did get some in the Star Wars universe, but what we're getting in the G.I. Joe line is light years more than any of those two franchises. Of course, I understand you have licensing to pay. This is your property. So, of course, that's going to be a bit more interesting. But if you're producing so many vehicles, this means this is doing really well for you, so you must be happy, because there's no way that you're going to be producing vehicles and bigger stuff and giving us this kind of vehicles in the regular line. We'll see how it's going to look, if it's really going to be the regular line or it's going to be some kind of HasLab, but by the way, it said it's not going to be. So I'm going on to the His tank version, where it's going to go up for pre-order, and then you're going to be getting it at the end of the year. So it could be end of 2027, but the way they were talking about it seems to be maybe a bit, maybe 2028, because they were talking about it for the Comic-Con of New York, and I think that one is towards the end of the year. So if it's not up for pre-order, they said they're going to have the definitive version there, so if people can be able to see it, but this is only a digital render of it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and a lot of collectors have been really interested. My concern is the fact that we're not getting Trasher with this vehicle, or for now it seems that we're not getting Trasher with this vehicle. So yeah, that's something who's a bit worrisome for me, because this was really the last dreadnok. Of course, we have Zanzibar, who's also missing. But let's be honest, this is something that needs to be coming with Trasher. So let's hope that Hasbro is going to course correct it. As you can see, there's some nice little upgrades, missile launchers on it. And I guess by the way they're fitted, they can be removed. So if you want to give it a more vintage look, original Real American Hero line, you can do it. I guess the flame part on the back of the car does come off also. I guess there might be a bit less painting, or the possibility to chip clips off the end of the vehicle to replace it, because I don't think you will want to have something changing of color, even if there's no more flame out of it. But yeah, I do like the upgrade. I think there's some interesting parts about it. The skull with this kind of Iroquois cut over here does really give me some vibes of Mad Max. Also the front of the vehicle, the way it's packaged up, the Gatling guns are again over there. You can see there's some grit around it, so you can see that they've been using it. But I'd like to see maybe a bit of beaten up panels, because they don't really care. They're a bit negligent with their vehicles. I think that would be some interesting parts to add to it, like if it got scratched, if it got banged a bit, they crashed it around, they used bits and pieces to build this vehicle back up, and that it's not a perfect thing that comes out of the factory would make much sense. Anyway, let me know in the comment section, what do you think about it? Are you happy with what they did? or would you have liked to seen something else being done over here? Or would you have preferred it to be a HasLab, so they would put some flashy lights on it and maybe some noise with it? Because it would make sense if you have some kind of lights, some emergency lights on it, that you would have some sound and some flashing lights. But personally, I do not really care, and I can tell you I'm not using much of the flashy lights on my HasLab. They're just sitting there and not using them at all. So I don't think that's a feature that I'm going to be using much, except when I'm taking pictures. Let me know in the comment section if you agree with everything that I said, or maybe you think I'm wrong, and let's have a look and tell me in the comment section, and we can start a conversation around our favorite hobby. So that's going to be it for my review and my thoughts about the San Diego panel of 2026. If you like this kind of videos, please leave a like, share, comment in the section. If you have any suggestions, you can let me know also in the comment section. If you want to go and check out some more videos, it's going to be a link at the end of it. If you want to go and check out my Facebook page, Instagram page, the links are in the description. I have plenty of pictures coming up to be going over there, and there are some really pretty cool close-ups of G.I. Joe Classified, some Star Wars stuff from Hot Toys and Sideshow, and of course some cool classified things. So go and check it out. You won't be disappointed. There's a lot of stuff to see on my Facebook page. And of course, like always, I wish you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!